Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of HarlequinCasts, Dawn of War 2 Retribution. And tonight I have a very special developer chat number 3 with a long-awaited interview with Mr. Clint Tasker. Clint Tasker, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Hi. That intro only took you like 6 tries.
I know. It's like, you know, it's an iterative process, man. I got to get all pumped up and get all the errors out, and then suddenly, bam, there we go. I just, roll right into it. So anyhow, yeah, man, I'm happy to have you back on the show. Clint Tasker, by the way, everyone, if you're not aware, you are, what's your current title, sir?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing.
Oh, you know what? You used to, okay. You used to be the balance designer, right? The lead balance designer?
I used to be senior balance designer.
Senior balance designer.
On DAO 2. And so me and the people on my team were balancing this game. And yeah, so a lot of people have been wondering where I am. So recently I got bumped to multiplayer designer, or just game designer, really.
Ooh.
And so the first order of business was to work on something else other than balance.
Ooh, so you've been out and about, like, just doing the whole thing and leaving the balance to folks like Mr. BC and the rest of the folks on your team, I'd imagine?
Yeah, Brad's kind of like taken over a lot of the balance stuff, and he's been doing a really good job with it. And then he still shows me his stuff so I can take a look at it, but it's been really solid.
Sweet. So tell us, Mr. Tasker, what is it exactly that you've been up to these days?
What I've been up to. So the first order of business was working on some Last Stand war gear. So we've already teased it a little bit.
Ooh.
But I can explain some of the more intricate things here. So we're gonna do some paid DLC. Oh, hold on. I'm just trying to be quiet. I don't want to interrupt. There's a bunch of people here still. Space Marine team working really hard, and I'm trying to keep my voice down.
Oh yeah, man, Space Marine. That's coming quite. I've been actually following them on Twitter and all that sort of. Look at me plugging Twitter automatically, but yeah, Space Marine.
Dude,
stuff.
Twitter followers. Need
Twitter
more
followers.
followers.
Hey, check out Clint Tasker, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll put that in your thing at the beginning. There we go.
Okay.
Everyone will see your thing.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh, DLC. DLC war gear. Yeah. So that's what I've been working on.
So more Last Stand war gear is in effect is on the on the planner here.
Yeah, Egon wanted me to make some Last Stand war gear, so that's what I did. We're making 12 pieces, so there's going to be 2 pieces for each hero.
Ooh.
So every hero's getting new stuff. Each piece is going to have completely custom art, so art that has not existed in the game at all. I worked with an artist for a month to get this stuff in the game. And yeah, so each piece, what I tried to do was take some holes that a particular hero had in their game, or maybe something that didn't quite work as much as we wanted it to work, and put in a piece to tweak it or to synergize with it. And so that's what I did.
Nice. Yeah, every now and then I hear people talking about like balance of Last Stand, and balance is kind of a weird thing for Last Stand because it's not like you're competing with anybody but the AI, but like I guess people mean balance in terms of like use this hero more or use this hero spec this way more or something like that. And so you were just trying to fill in all those like use cases or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, some heroes like the Farseer, they have tons of melee weapons, but she's not.
Yeah, that was actually the first example that comes into my mind, because whenever I play Last Stand, I play as the Farseer, and I realized I've tried to level her as to play her as a melee class, and it just doesn't work.
Do you like tanking with her? Do you want to be like a tank?
She certainly has the gear for it, but like I could never make it work. I guess I tank when I'm running around confusing
She'll
people.
Have more gear for it, is what I'll say.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah. Like my favorite piece though is the mech boy. He's got all these pieces that teleport. Like he's got 2 armors. One will teleport you to a location. One will have guys bounce off you if they hit you in melee, or you'll bounce off them. And then he's got the zap knife, which does the same thing when you hit things in melee. And I thought that was like totally rad. But I mean, what always happened is things would just teleport off me, and that would be the end of it. Like they would never die, and I just have to chase them down and do it again. So you'd have guys bouncing around like crazy, but I mean, nothing ever came of it. You'd have to rely on your partners to actually kill them or something. So one of my favorite pieces that I mean, to tout my own horn,
that you designed, yes.
One of my like chest bump like things that I designed is what I call a juiced up teleporter. So it's an accessory for the orc, and you can put it in one of the accessory slots. So it doesn't take armor, doesn't take weapon. It works with so what it does is every time the mech teleports or something is teleported off of him or he's teleported off of something else, they explode. So very thing. So so you can combo it with the zap knife or the mad teleporter pack or the teleporter pack, and so every time something teleports, it explodes and it just turns into absolute chaos. And
like
so
totally blows up, like dies, or just does an explosion around it.
So each entity that's teleported will do a tiny explosion. So if you teleport like a squad of tiny little entities, they'll pretty much just like completely crumple and die. And then if you teleport something big, it'll probably live, but it'll do AoE to anything next to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And we're testing it out. I was testing it out with BC and Stefan Haynes. And so we wanted, like, one of the things we do when we test stuff is, triple it and like not triple the stats, but I mean, like, if something's going to be good in Last Stand, it'll probably be even better if you put it 3 versions of it, right?
Yep.
So we took in 3 mechs, loaded up all the teleporting gear, and then we got to the clone wave on the first map, like the old
Last Stand. You fight your mirror images.
And
or whatever.
that was just the biggest. I don't want to swear, but cluster fandango or
cluster fandango.
It was the biggest, like, just, oh man, there's teleporting everywhere. Everything was dying, and in order to balance this gear, I made it do it does friendly fire, so you randomly get teleported on top of each other and just blow each other up, and oh man, it was a blast. People are gonna have so much fun with that gear.
Nice. All right, so I think you were telling me beforehand, you guys don't have a release date yet for this that we can announce.
There is a release date, but I can't say what it is because it might change.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I won't put you on the spot for that, but that's cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear this, I mean, obviously this is on demand anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
really
hopefully this comes out before the gear. Otherwise, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? These guys are talking about something I already know about. But the idea is that it comes out first.
Yeah, we'll be on top of all that. But yeah, once that stuff happens, once it's finally out there, and I'm back from Beijing because I'll be announcing that too. Yeah, we should totally get together and check that out and preview it and whatnot, and review it. There we go.
Making it. I hope people like it a lot. I tried to incorporate some really fun stuff and try and make some lesser viable stuff more viable. But at the same time, I tried really hard not to make it like an absolute necessity in order to get like a high score or to get to like wave 20 or anything like that. Like, we still want people to, if they don't want to buy this war gear, then so be it, and you should be able to get just as high a score without it.
Nice. That's good. That's good deals there. I'll ping some random questions off you while we're there then. So everybody knows I love playing the Farseer, in particular because she has the runes of the Harlequin. What is your favorite hero? What do you like to play as?
Oh,
or do you
man.
have one?
In Last Stand, I always remember, because I actually hadn't worked on it since I did a lot of balance work on the very original, like when it first came out, which is like 2 years ago now. It's a pretty long time ago or something. Yeah, and I remember all the kind of funny things that we did before gear got nerfed. Like, electric armor used to be like 3 times more powerful, and so we had like 3 mechs, and we'd sit in a corner with big shootas and just like melt like waves as they like came in, because the 3 stacked electric armors would just like things would just die instantly. The first time we ever got like a multi-million score was triple Space Marine with orbital and jetpacks, and we used to use Unshakable in order so we could walk through the orbitals. And we realized if you're good enough, you don't actually need Unshakable. You just need to dodge it using the jetpack. And so, yeah, I like the Farseer. She's pretty fun. Mass Confused builds were fun for a while, but probably the Orc or the Space Marine is still one of the funnest.
Yeah, I can relate to that, because when I think, like, probably most people have this experience, but when I first started playing with my buddies Guantes and Quasimodem, you know them both. We didn't know anything about it, and so I think the weird build that we found out was, what is the bomb that the mech boy has that when he dies he just nukes the place?
Oh yeah,
I forget what that. Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Kaboom, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it's Kaboom. And so it decimates your score, but we built an entire build around having him intentionally die and then resurrecting him. And all we did was have him run to his death and nuke everything around him. And it kills your score because you die 100 times to get it done.
Yeah, if you want a high score, you can't even die once.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, we came up with like what we thought might be the most exploitable build. Was the mech has the remote bombs.
Yep.
And so what we would do is we would intentionally, and then the last boss was of course the Chaos Lord, and it was probably by far the hardest wave to actually deal with. And so what we would do is we would stack like, we would basically kill our score on the very first wave because it exponentially increases, right? So the first wave actually isn't worth a whole lot in the long run. So we'd tank that like 1,000 points from the first wave or whatever, and we'd set up like 16 remote bombs like right under where the Chaos Lord would spawn, and then we would just like set up these crazy like traps around the map, and like by the time the first wave was done, it'd be like 20 or 25 minutes later, and we'd have remote bombs everywhere. And then so we'd just proceed to do the next waves like really easily. We would like we would kite stuff over we'd kite high priority targets over the bombs and like blow them up. And then we actually did get to the Chaos Lord wave with his stacked thing and like just nuked him down instantly. But it was an effective build, but man, definitely time consuming and probably still not the best way to get a high score. Still fun though.
Cool. Excellent stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out for the new DLC content for The Last Stand, as previewed here by Mr. Tasker. And now for the second half of this, actually, we're just going to cast a game. So
yeah,
we're
I've done this in a long time. I haven't had time to pay attention as much, but
yeah, I know you've been busy making games. That's a perfectly that's a noble
man.
excuse.
Making games is a lot of work. No one told me this.